with me. I am PyVLG, your host, and you are tuned in to War Notes radio broadcast. We are old school broadcasting out of Ohio, and without you all, we would be nobody. So I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. We have now, I believe, 326 subscribers. We're shooting to 400 and then eventually shooting to 1,000. So I appreciate you all being here. And again, without you, this channel would be nothing. So we will go ahead and jump right into the latest important news and headlines that you need to know for today. And our first top headline today: the cruise ship breakdown, massive drift off of Italian coast. A major incident unfolded today as the MSC World Europa suffered a breakdown off the Italian coast while carrying a staggering 8,500 souls on board. I believe it was 8,500 or 85,000 souls on board. Rescue efforts are underway, and authorities are scrambling to restore power and ensure everyone's safety. So it is 8,500 confirmed. Standard cruise ships carry about that much, so 8,500 folks. So fortunately, that's still too many. Second story on our headline today. And I do apologize. I'm a little bit slower than some of the days. I may sound a little less enthusiastic. I did just recently find out I have a tumor in my head that is benign, so I'm trying to take my time. So, causing myself any unnecessary migraines. As far as Minneapolis is concerned, a horrifying attack struck Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis on August 27th. A 23-year-old identified as Robin Westman opened fire during mass killing 2 children and injuring 17 others, including 14 children. Suspect died by suicide. Authorities are investigating the shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and a hate crime targeting Catholics. Our third story on our headline today is the CDC director and a dramatic shakeup at the CDC. Director Susan Monarez, confirmed just weeks ago on July 29th, was abruptly removed from her post on August 27th. Her lawyers dispute that she resigned or was officially fired, calling the move retaliatory. In protest, several top CDC health officials have resigned, citing growing politicization of public health. Our fourth headline for today is the Mexican Senate. Tempers erupted in Mexico's Senate today as two high-profile politicians, PRI leader Alejandro Alito Moreno Cardenas and Morena Senate President Gerardo Fernandez Noronha, shoved and exchanged blows during a sitting session in Mexico City. Our fifth headline for today is why Trump wants control over the Federal Reserve. Well, let's talk about it. President Trump is maneuvering to end the Federal Reserve's independence. He's pushing for drastic interest rate cuts and has reportedly fired federal governor Lisa Cook, and moves that analysts warn could upend markets and destabilize the economy. Our sixth top story of today is DC Mayor's support of troop deployment has brought alarms to my ears. I figured I wanted to talk about it. I believe that it's a big risk for the Black community and Democratic community. Washington, D.C.'s Black female mayor publicly supported Trump's recent troop deployment, citing a drop in carjackings. First, she was against it. Now, all of a sudden, she has now come off of another opinion. Yet critics argue such deployments are harmful, potentially criminalizing communities of color. over militarizing police response and undermining trust in democratic leadership during crises. In Al Sharpton's Rise Up, Al Sharpton talks about Christianity over political labels. I believe it's very important. Reverend Al Sharpton, in his book Rise Up, if you haven't read it, you need to read it, challenges activists. Instead of striving to be Democrats, he says, how about striving to be Christians? A very good point that I thought was very important to bring up in today's news broadcast. A lot of MAGA Republicans are thump their Bibles and carry their crosses around on their chest, but they don't live up to what the scriptures tell us to do as Christians, or how the Bible describes that we should conduct ourselves or behave morally as Christians. So I challenge the MAGA groups and the Republicans and the white racists of the world. I challenge you all simply to this. Don't change your political status. Stay a Republican if that's what you wish to do, but be a Christian. Be about it. Stop talking about it. Be about it. Be about it. And one of the ways that you can be about it as a MAGA Republican so called Christian, one of the ways that you can stand up and show that you are a Christian and walk in the shoes of the Lord, walk in the shoes of Jesus Christ, his son. The only way I feel, in my own personal opinion, and according to our scriptures, which is not a personal opinion, the only way to do that is to stand up and do things the right way. And separating families and despising of the people who live right next to you, and when it's convenient for you to scream out Taco Tuesdays, it's all good and beautiful. But when it's time for you to stand up for the same human being that has a beating heart just like you and I and everybody else next door to you, your neighbor, you can't stand up and love your neighbor. You report them, you sick the dogs on them, you sick immigration on them, you sick the Homeland Security on them, and then you thump your Bibles and carry around your crosses on your neck, and you go to church on Sunday, or you go to your Bible study and say, I'm a Christian. I need you all to think about that. So, challenge you all to think about what you all consider to be Christianity. And if you are and if you consider yourself to be a Christian, shall I say. Al Sharpton, he calls for faith-rooted action over partisan identity, something Republicans often tout, yet should embody genuinely. Number 8 on our discussion today is the federal building, the Eugene Federal Building. The protests have turned physical. At the Eugene Federal Building in Oregon yesterday, anti-ICE protesters faced aggressive tactics from DHS officers. Videos show protesters being pushed and even tackled by federal agents, heightening tensions over immigration enforcement near the federal facility. This is not good. Our First Amendment is being attacked, and something needs to be done about it. We move over to the TSA side. TSA announces new luggage procedures. I think it's important for folks to know, especially folks who travel. Lithium and butane tools are banned. The TSA has introduced new baggage rules. Cordless hairstyling tools like curling irons, flat irons, or hair straighteners with lithium gas or butane fuel are now banned from checked luggage for safety reasons. They must be carried on instead, or travelers may face steep fines. And that is according to Fox 11 Los Angeles and also the New York Post and 16 other reputable sources. I wanted to announce myself the Quarter Club. If you are an Aldi shopper, there's a Quarter Club starting. Today's announcement of the Quarter Club is expected to inspire interest. Details to come. And really, it's not too many details on it, but I did want to bring it out there that Aldi's has a new Quarter Club that they're introducing. So if you are Aldi shopper, I'll update you all at a later date on the new Quarter Club that's starting up. When we step over to immigration again, very briefly, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, again, still fighting to stay here with his family. Immigration right now still holding Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He still remains in legal limbo. He's continuing to fight to remain in the U.S. No new resolution has been reported as of yet. 12th on our discussion today is how the veteran burns flag outside of White House. If you didn't know, now you know. A decorated U.S. Army veteran was arrested near the White House after burning an American flag in protest against Trump's executive orders. The veteran claims the act is unconstitutional. The veteran claims that the act is constitutionally protected free speech and is prepared to face jail time for it. We need more folks standing up like this. 13 on our list today is farmers. Farmers blame crushing crop losses on Trump voter regrets. That's already too late, but this is what they've caused, so they have to deal with. Farmers in key states are watching their livelihoods wither, unable to sell bumper harvest. Many blame the Trump administration. Critics say it's political karma, but the reality is economic. Oversupply, disrupted markets, and flawed policy are forcing crops to be destroyed. Let's take a walk over to Walmart. As you know, Walmart prices have been skyrocketing. Butane to delivery fees explode. Consumers are outraged at Walmart's prices and their climbs. A previously inexpensive $2.97 butane canister now costs $15 online in some areas. Delivery service fees start at $9.95 and jump to $15 for so-called fast delivery under 3 hours. Shoppers say the retailer is playing pricing games at their expense. And this is all true, of course. There's a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a lot going on every single day of this week and every single day since Yellow Man has stepped into office. I urge you all to stay calm, relax, take care of your health, stay vigilant, stay informed, and know that War Notes is here to bring you factual information, not to bring you clout, not to bring you just something to turn on your YouTube. These are important information. This is important information that folks need to know. There's so much more that needs to be known throughout the day, but I try my best to come on here and sum it up as best as possible for you all, but with factual information. And unfortunately, in a society in which we live now, with this type of fascist government authoritarianism that's occurring on an everyday basis and deepening, it's hard for me to be partisan. Trying my best to be partisan, if I'm using the correct political term. I'm trying my best to be partisan on my channel. But, or no, let me correct myself. I'm glad you all are listening. I hope you guys are listening good. Let me correct myself. Let me use the correct political term. I'm trying to be bipartisan, but I'm finding myself more partisan because there's so much things going on. And to be honest with you, maybe I might not even be finding myself partisan. I think I'm just trying to find a middle ground because we seem as human beings, as people in this country and around the globe, to not be able to win, neither on either side. The same people who voted Yellow Man in, they're not able to win either. And unfortunately, karma is not going to repair the the trauma and the hurt that has already occurred within families that have been separated, um, and been thrown to the dogs and been thrown to places like Alligator Alcatraz. And it can't, karma on the Republican side, it can't restore the nights and the days that families are separated and children are separated from their parents. Can't restore any of that. So I would like to come on here and bash all the Republicans and say, screw you guys, MAGA Republicans. It was all your fault and it's always going to be your fault. But me blaming them will never repair the hurt and pain that's occurring across the country. And I know that many folks, when you hear these videos and you hear these live streams, it could be quite overwhelming, I'm sure. Every place you turn, every Google search you do, every news channel you flip through, it's either Yellow Man, his executive orders, or something else diabolical one of his people in his administration has done. Or what other constitutional rule have they broken? So I understand how overwhelming this could be for many. But please, I urge you to please just continue to stay vigilant, stay informed, don't give up. And if the best you can do is stay in your home and keep up with the latest, it's the best you can do, because at the end of the day, there's so many people who are at home who don't keep up with the latest, but then they're the first ones to go to the polls and vote. And when they press the button, they don't know who they're voting for because they didn't keep up the entire time prior to the vote. That's why it's important for me to share with you all and to tell you all. It's important to stay vigilant and stay informed so you can make an informed decision when you go to the polls. The polls may not be the same that they've always been. The injustice is grand, but that doesn't mean that all of us citizens who are still able to vote and have the right constitutionally to vote, that we shouldn't make an informed decision when we go to the voting polls. But in order to make an informed decision, you have to stay vigilant and stay informed. And you have to keep up with the facts, not propaganda, with the facts. So again, I thank you all for listening. I am Pavio G, your host. And if you found this radio broadcast today informative and you feel you learned something from it, or you feel that someone else that you know can learn something from it, I please urge you to subscribe. Like the video if you enjoyed it only. Make sure you share it with others who you feel will be informed by listening to the radio broadcast. Thank you all so very, very much. Have a beautiful and blessed day.